poppin' gang? Today we're going to be talking about how to get your beats to sound harder in Pro Tools. If you want more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so YouTube promotes more videos like this to you, and also hit that like button because it helps out with the channel. Alright gang, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you guys how to get your beats to hit harder in Pro Tools and how you set that up when when you're tracking out beats and maybe you're mixing your own music or you're mixing music for your client and they send you the track outs. You send them the mix back and it doesn't hit as hard as the 2-track. So let me show you how to handle that. And as you can see, I have everything tracked out and I dragged most of these stuff in from FL Studio onto my template, so I didn't have to do much to get this beat to sound really good. Now before I go into the drums to show you exactly what I did to get them to hit harder, you got to start with your melodies first. You know what I'm saying? You don't want anything crashing with the lows and stuff like that. And then you want to make sure you dip out around 1,000 just to make sure your vocals stand out more. Maybe you want to add in just a little bit of warmth and stuff like that. So let's see what this is right here. So you can see I added just to make it a little bit more warmer instead of just being like this. It's very minimal. Same thing with your other melodies. Just make sure you EQ it right just so it doesn't clash with your 808 and your kick and bass. Next, you want to make sure you don't have your melodies too loud. So I have all my melodies going out to an aux channel. So this is my music aux channel for all my melodies, and I have all my beats and stuff like that tracked out to like their own aux. So here's an aux for the melody, here's an aux for the drums, and here's some other stuff we're going to get into on how to make your beat sound harder. So on the melodies, you can do different stuff to make it wider. So you can add this plugin right here to give your vocals a nice place to sit in. And then also you want to add some EQ to it as well, just to make sure it fits perfectly in the beat. Okay, so I have my Lean meter here so you can see exactly what number are we hitting for the melodies just by itself. Okay, so like -22, -23 dB. Okay, so that's a pretty good number right there. And now what we can do is go ahead and move on to the drums. If you're getting help so far, go ahead and hit the like button, man, because it helps out with the channel. So let's go ahead and show you what I did with this 808. Now, when you're bringing in your track outs, you want to actually bring in the 808 multiple times. And I actually did some other stuff in there as well. So here's the main track right here with the 808. And as you can see, I just got like one little plugin on there, nothing too crazy. And it's just this plugin right here. I try to, get some of that punch in there by boosting around there for this 808. It just punches out and stands on top of the melodies a lot more when you add this effect on there. When you just boost it just a little bit of high frequencies on the 808, just so it can sit on top of the melodies a lot more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is play it and then I'm going to A/B it so you can just hear what this effect is doing to this 808. Now, another trick that I actually just started doing, I don't normally do this, but I was just like, you know what, let me just try it out and see, how this can really affect my 808. Now, what I did was add the wider effect on another different 808, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times what I'm doing when I add different 808s and stuff like that, so what I do is I bring the volume all the way down and then I bring it up slowly, just to make sure it blends in with everything all together. So I added this wider effect, and let's just hear that real quick. And both 808s are going to be playing as well. So you see this one is already activated and this one is activated too. What I'm gonna do is A/B this wider effect so you can hear exactly what it sounds like. So what it did basically was just kind of spread out the 808 effect a little bit. It just gave it a little bit more stereo effect. And the reason why I did that is because of when you have multiple different speakers, this can actually help it hit a little bit harder when you have worse speakers. I added that, and then I added the secret sauce right here. Now this right here, I told you guys to add this on vocals, but if you add this on its own little separate duplicate 808 channel right here, this is really a beast right here. I promise you. This right here will actually get you more like deeper bass. When you hear that 808 and it hits like in your throat, like no homo, don't get me wrong, no homo, but it just hits like in your throat, like it's just a deep 808. No homo. That's basically what this plugin does. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and A/B this effect, and let me just play around with the knob so you can hear exactly what it's doing. So basically what I was doing is when you affect these knobs here, man, this right here is like the low 808. And this right here is like the upper mid 808. So, you know, you're basically just turning it up and turning it down. As you can see, sometimes when you're looking for more 808 and you want your beats to hit harder, you got to turn up some frequencies that aren't really hitting as you want them to. So that's why I use this plugin here to bring up some of that low bass and then control some of the mids and put them exactly where I want them. So when I add the kick and all that kind of stuff, boom, it just hits a lot harder. So the next thing you want to do, personally, when I like adding my kicks, I don't really do too much to them. I just added that same API plugin and, you know, I just, you know, hit a couple knobs here and there, maybe just turn up the bass, you know, don't do too much. Add up some of the mid frequencies where you take out in your vocals like 200, 300 hertz around there. Actually, you know, boost on the kick for that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take that out on your voice anyway because it's going to be muddy. Why not just boost the kick around that area where you're taking out on your vocals so your kick has a nice place to sit at? So, you know, I do just a little bit, just bare minimum. And let's just hear real quick. Yeah, so it's not doing a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's very small. So next you want to do is go ahead and hit that like button because it really helps out with the channel. I appreciate you guys watching so far. Let me show you this next plugin right here that I also use on the 808. So this right here, the Voice of God, Vogue. I love this plugin, super great for 808s. You know, you could also use this to get deeper 808s as well. So this right here, you basically adjust the frequency right here. You got to find that frequency that fits best with this 808 and song. So it's kind of hard with this plugin to actually know exactly what frequency I'm affecting. I wish I knew that. I wish they can add like a little number thing so tell exactly what frequency you're affecting, but maybe they don't want to add that because on the real actual thing, they don't, you know, you don't show that. So here's the actual effect here. So let me go ahead and turn it off, turn it back on so you can hear exactly what I'm doing. And I'm gonna just play around with the knobs a little bit too. All right, so and then let me just show you one more effect that really is kind of like slept on, and a lot of people aren't talking about this one, and it is using this right here, the Transient Designer. This one right here. Now this one is a tricky one. You got to make sure you do it right. And basically what you're doing is like, you know, when you like have your beats hitting hard in FL Studio and it just giving you that crack and sounds really good, but when you add it into Pro Tools, you're going to lose a lot of that. You know, Pro Tools just wants to make sure you have a very clean sound. And the way for you to add that back into your beat is using this plugin. And what I do, and I don't put the 808 on this track, what I do is actually put the whole entire 2-track on that file, on that track right there. So so what I do is actually, you know, you want to turn up the attack, mess with the sustain, turn up the output, and let's just hear what it sounds like. You hear how that punch, that kick just jumped out, you know, out of nowhere? That's basically what you're adding. You're adding those jumps and those clicks and those cracks into your beat to where it actually makes it sound like you're actually pushing the beat harder, but you're really not. Yeah, just play around with it. Honestly, this plugin is amazing for making your beats hit harder. Use your whole 2-track on there, and then you want to just, like I said, turn it down and then slowly just bring it up. And that's how you get your beats to hit harder in Pro Tools. Go ahead and hit the like button because it helps out with the channel. If you want more content like this, let me know what type of content you want to see in the comment section. You guys stay safe, and remember, it's only a matter of time. Peace.